continue in the series of 25 basic principles of Jewish child rearing. We are now by principle number 14, which we'll call positive reinforcement. Sometimes a parent can walk into a child's playroom and find the whole room in what we call a tremendous balagan, a tremendous mess. And the parent can stand there and say, "What's going on here? How can you live like this? How can you have such a mess in this place? There's discarded apple cores, and there's bits and pieces of foodstuffs and strewn amongst the toys and the puzzles, and it's all one huge, huge calamity zone," it looks like. And a parent will berate the child and say, "Come on, you can't live this way. Let's get this room cleaned up." And very often the response as the parent walks out of the room can be the typical raising of shoulders, "No," and just ignore this beratement of the parents. Now there's one way which is almost fail-safe. It always works. Imagine the same parent walked into the room and he looks around the room and he sees this room which looks like a catastrophe zone, which is strewn and there's mess all over the place. And he looks around and finally identifies a little corner where there's actually nothing there. It's actually clean. And he'll walk up to the corner and peer at it and look at it carefully and call the kids, "Come over here, kids. Come on. Come over here." And they're all looking. What is the parent looking at? And he says, "You see this little corner? It's so nice and clean. I wonder if the whole room can look this way." Now, this is not going to evoke a negative response, because you've been positive. You have identified something positive, albeit something very small and minor, but you've identified something positive. And you've said, "Come, let's see if we can all make the rest of the room look like that clean and tidy little corner." The response would inevitably be a very positive one, because you've come positive. We've identified something positive. We're reinforcing it, and we're saying, let's look for more. And this is a very well-known principle in management of people and at all levels of management, where the clever boss, the clever employee, instead of running around his workers looking for something negative to berate, he'll run around and make rounds amongst his workers until he catches one of them red-handed doing something great. And he'll say, "Wow, I've caught you doing something good." And he'll call others and say, "Wow, everybody have a look at this." Everybody wants to get this compliment. Everyone wants to have this positive reinforcement of what he's doing. And you'll find a situation very often, and there are many great organizations that are run in this manner, run in a very positive manner. No one's looking at the half-empty cup, but everyone's looking at the other half, the half that it's full. Half of this cup is full. It's not a half-empty cup. It's half-full cup. So when we come to our children and we want to try and modify certain modes of behavior, so we can nag them, we can berate them, we can beg them, we can shout at them, we can punish them, and probably this pattern will go on, creating more and more tension in the home, creating more and more resentment. Or we can just flip the whole thing into something positive and say, "I know you're capable of more. I know you've got great strengths. I know that you can really speak nicely to your parents. Whatever the issue is, I know, because I know you." And identify something which is very, very positive. This will create a positive atmosphere, because the child will much easier accept criticism when it's necessary. The challenge is therefore to focus on the behavior, on positive behavior, and reinforce it. In most cases, the child will try and live up to it, because we have now labeled them and identified them as someone who's capable of doing something very positive. They will want to rise up to the challenge. They will want to behave in a positive way, living up to the compliment that we've given them and repeating this positive behavior.